All right, here we are with our tools, and we're getting set up to do a power steering hose on the 98 Corolla. It's leaking like crazy, and so it's overdue for a new one. We got a replacement hose, which is a Gates. Wasn't too expensive. It comes with new O-ring and washers, so we can get it sealed properly when we install it. As far as the tools go, we have I got a breaker bar because this nut right here and the banjo bolt that goes here is held on pretty tight. So we're going to use on the power steering pump side, which is this side of the hose, we're going to use a 24 millimeter socket with an extension, and then for the rack and pinion side, for that fitting, it's going to be a 17 millimeter. Oh, this aftermarket one is actually a different size. We'll see how that goes. But at least as far as getting off the old one, it's a 17. And then I'm using an extension in the breaker bar to make that work, because you'll see it's kind of a tight fit, cramped space. So yeah, we got to figure out what this size is, and then we'll get this going. So we have our crow's foot set up on the nut here, and an extension, and then actually there's an adapter there as well to go from 1/2 inch to 3/8. And there we go. And we have an oil pan set up below. There we go. Because once we disconnect this fitting, it's going to leak out a bunch of power steering fluid. I'm just holding the line back so it doesn't get all twisted up as I turn the fitting. Oh. And once it goes around too far, you gotta move it and rotate it back. There we go. Let's see. This might just use it, that's much. Okay, now I think we're finally getting it to spin freely. Almost. There we go. Now we'll just let that fluid drain out into our pan below. We'll have a little bit of a mess to clean up, but there it goes. Okay, and then one thing that we didn't mention with the tools is that you need a 10 millimeter socket to get this bolt out for the support bracket, because you can't remove this line without taking it out of that bracket. So I'm going to remove that. There we go. So, oh, now it's free. Actually, yeah, we'll just pull it out. around this bracket, or you know, removing this one will probably help, because then we can swing that bracket out of the way. Get out yet? There we go. Well, now we can swing it out of the way. There we are. Okay. Now we're ready to disconnect it from the other end. Okay, so now here we are at the other end of the power steering hose. You can hear it's loose on the other side. So we want to disconnect it by, well, first we're going to remove this connector for the little power steering pressure switch, and that'll enable us to put a 24mm socket right over it, and then we can loosen that nut. Okay, so with the use of an extension and a breaker bar, we can go ahead and remove this nut here. There we go. Is it dripping? No. Alright, so now we got that out. And we can remove our hose. Alright, now we're putting in our new hose. Just gonna put the other end over there, somewhere about where it will end up. Alright, so now we gotta position this end of the pump and put in our gasket / washer. And then might be a little tricky lining it up, but once you twist the hose into the right position, see, I'll put my bolt through. And there you go. Alright, so I'm just gonna hand tighten it on this side for now. Here we are at the other end, and what you want to make sure of is that you have your new O-ring on the end of your line, and make sure that the old O-ring came out with the old line, so you don't want to double them up. So then I'm going to kind of twist your hose into position, make sure you don't have any debris on the end of the line there, and then I want to start threading it in. If that will work. Okay, so before I go and tighten either end, I want to make sure everything's lined up, and I'm taking this little rubber cushion from the old hose, transferring it to the new hose, so that way it has a cushion and there's no metal on metal contact with this support bracket here. Okay, so there we go.
Once you are done replacing your high pressure side power steering hose, you want to make sure you go ahead and flush your power steering reservoir, and then you want to make sure that there's no air or any dirty fluid in your system, and that's how you end it with the replacing the power steering hose, high pressure side. And that's it.